2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome to a very special edition of Teaching Crypto. This is AZcrypto with MrFOMO. And MrFOMO, we had Creditors AMA today, but not a lot was learned with Voyager. They talked about an investigation that they're still not ready to give information about. They said it was too early. We really didn't learn about the bidders. So not nearly as much information about the YouTube show, and a couple of people were disappointed online. For me, all I care about is not delaying the process. So again, just like we talked about last night, we have no delays. And really, I kind of agree with some of the people said online. It may have been better for them to wait until the 14th, once even Voyager was able to give information, and they could have come back and given their version. What do you think?
Yeah, there wasn't much shared today. I don't know that there is much that they can share in the way of information that they have versus what we can know, but I'd like to know a lot more information. But like you said, it's about the timeline for me and when we can have access to the crypto and when we can start trading again. So for me, it's a bit of a nothing burger. I'd like to know some more information, but at the end of the day, I'm not upset.
So we want to get.
You're breaking up real bad again.
I don't want to jinx it, but MrFOMO, we want to talk about some of the others out there. Talked about Binance.
You're gone again.
See you live YouTube, everybody.
I'm just
we talked
staring at your frozen face.
You're frozen. We talked about
awesome. Anyway, he's coming back in, but we've talked about Voyager and what's going on, and we've talked about some of the companies that might be interested. We're going to speculate a little bit on who might be coming in to have already made those bids. He should be coming back in here in a second. We're having a little problem with the streaming service. Anyway, for me, I think that there are several companies that we already know about, especially crypto. Companies like Binance, companies like FTX, some background crypto companies that might be out there. Maybe Galaxy Digital might be out there. For me, I might see a company like Tron and a a bit of a marketing mastermind like Justin Sun come in, and what Voyager is going to need after this is over is somebody who's going to be able to market them back to relevance. And I think that somebody like that could do it, but certainly somebody like FTX and SBF and CZ from Binance could also be capable of the same things. But that is, that's all speculation until we get to the end. And really in the end, we'll just know the one bidder. And so hopefully, it's one of those, or maybe even a big name like somebody like a Bank of America or a Chase Bank, JP Morgan, something like that. You see somebody like that come in and have the ability to offer, some more security. I think not that FTX or Binance couldn't offer that security, but for them to come in and offer the security where Voyager couldn't offer that security, or wouldn't, however you want to see it. But I think that maybe we could see somebody like that come in, and but it's going to take a big name. It's going to take a big backer, somebody who has got a lot of pull and can make the customers whole or close to whole. Otherwise, it's just not good news. But I think that's what we're going to see. If we had enough good bids in order to get to the auction, then we could see, at the risk of sounding like Happy Gilmore before his grandmother's house went up for auction, auction could be a good thing. Auction could work out very well for the customers, especially if there's lots of big bids. And so we'll have to wait and see. But the UCC on Reddit today is not offering much in the way, outside of the idea that there was a bit of investigation, and not much has been found in that investigation as far as what the management and insiders were doing, as far as insider trading or anything malicious, as far as misleading the customers. Even though we do know there are some class action suits out there, some people who are trying to sue Voyager and their yeah, Moon, we're right there with you. It was a huge disappointment, and thanks for tuning in. But yeah, it was a huge disappointment today. But hopefully we'll get to a place where the customers are made a bit more whole, and that's a good thing. But I think it's also a good thing that the investigation isn't really yielding anything negative. We have our own opinions on that. I certainly think that some people were doing some things that were untoward. Whether that comes out to whether that weighs out to liability or not, I don't know. But I think we're getting good news on this end, and even I've heard Celsius is actually getting some good news as far as their bankruptcy proceedings are going.
They've actually made some progress. Actually,
yeah, and so that's good news all around. It's a high tide that rises all ships when these companies are starting to restructure and the customers are getting closer to being made whole. I think we're in a good space as far as crypto, especially compared to where we were in July, and last month. Not that I don't think that price action is going to reflect where we're getting to as far as the space is concerned. I think September could still be a bit of an ugly month. We saw Jerome Powell today get on the TV and say he's willing to fire up some rate hikes as long as it takes, or as long as it takes to get the job done, is what he said. So as far as the macro is concerned, it's still not a great environment. So I fully expect, with the war continuing in Europe, with Russia cutting Europe off, with the Nord Stream cutting off their gas, there's a lot in the macro that doesn't look great. And so be careful as far as price action, but as far as the space is concerned, Celsius, Voyager, I think we're getting healthier in that respect. It won't show up in the price, though, across the board.
Yeah, and we want to thank you so much, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We want to emphasize the fact that even if everything goes well and we get good news on the 13th and the 14th, we'll be not looking back to open as early as January. I'm optimistic. Mr. FOMO thinks maybe more February, March, but I'm gonna stick to January for now. We'll see. I think if we get out of bankruptcy at the end of October, early November, there's going to be some type of urgency to get back up and running, whoever the new ownership is, because time is money. We talked about this a million times. Every day that goes by that funds are locked, customers get more frustrated. I mean, I think they've learned to live with it, but at the same time, eventually you want to have control of your funds.
That's a great point, and that's something that my prediction doesn't consider when I say, probably February or March. I'm thinking more. I'm the pessimist, I guess. So I think it'll be later, but you make a great point there. Opportunity cost. It works both ways, not just for the customers, but also for whoever takes on these companies. specifically Voyager, they've got to get up and running in order to build trust with the customers. Because as far as Voyager as a company and a brand, that's probably dead. What we're looking at is whoever's moving forward has got to start building up with the customers that they purchase.
We want to thank everyone that's tuning in live. We really appreciate it. I want to talk about Luna Classic here. I still own some. I own locked Luna and Luna Classic, and they really are locked on Voyager. I'm double locked. So here's the deal, though. Luna Classic is burning every single day. Do we trust Daquan? Absolutely not. Do we think this is sustainable? I have no idea. But I'll tell you something. If you have this, and obviously you have it on Voyager, you can't sell it. I'm holding the entertainment's purposes, not financial advice. I'm holding on to mine. As long as this mathematical formula keeps going, I'm holding on to it. I got to tell you, I can see a day, MrFOMO, we get back to 1 cent. I can see a day we get back to 10 cents. I'm not going to say Luna like the old days. Hell no, because we were burned big. But I have a funny feeling the burning is going to continue for a while. Now, is he going to get arrested eventually based on all the stuff that happened with Luna? Possibly. But, who knows if this continues and they continue to burn supply, and they still have fans out there. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, anybody who's stuck with it on Voyager is going to be a huge fan of it going up, right? Like, we have this obligatory bag that we're left with, and sure, yeah, I even Moon is like, yeah, let's go to $1. So I'm with Moon. That would be great for me. That would be.
I'll take 10 cents. I'll take us $1. 2023, 2024, when we have our funds back, let's do it.
Listen, as much as we don't trust Daquan, and there you go again, as much as we don't trust Daquan, the guy's a cowboy, so he absolutely could go out there and burn enough to get this thing going. And so crypto is the Wild West, and he's a cowboy, and he's going to do what he has to do to get himself back over the hump. So yeah, I could definitely see Daquan doing what he needs to do and getting this thing up to a penny. I think we're dreaming if we go any higher than that. I think that's a bit of, not to upset Moon, but I think that's a bit of the hopium talking. So we're still trying to get AZ back. I don't know what's going on with our subscription service. We might have to change to a new one. But let's see if he can get back in here. If we can get him back in, then we'll get him back in. Yeah, Moon, you're making a great point there. Dreaming is healthy. We've got to, I would love to get it to $1, especially because I have a huge bag that I charged into right before they stopped trading on Voyager. So that was a huge mess for me and a huge mistake. And so, if that ends up turning into something positive, that would be huge. I would love it. But like AZ says, at a penny, I would probably bail out and take my profits. So I don't know if we're going to get them back here. I think that's all we were going to talk about tonight. Moon, thanks for jumping into the chat. It was fun talking to you. So it looks like AZ's struggling to get back in. And so we're going to go ahead and cut out for tonight. For AZcrypto, this is MrFOMO. We'll see you on the next one.